What's up? We're running a minute late today. We are a minute behind. What's good, YouTube? How you doing today? Hope you're doing well. I'm still getting everything set up, but I'm just about ready. Got our music going. Let me get YouTube set up. Let me get YouTube set up, then we'll get into what we're going to talk about today. Alright. Okay. So today we're going to talk about how and why MAGA attracts cowards. These are people who feel safe behind a keyboard, but would never debate their beliefs and stand on them face to face, even if that's a phone call, a video call, in person. You know, the cowards of MAGA will not allow themselves to come face to face with real men in any way. So if that triggers you and you want to put something in the comments, you can, unless you will face me with a phone call, a video call, or an in-person debate or competition. You are not authorized to comment here. What I will do is use the comments that they leave before I delete them to make new videos about. Unless they want to debate policy, but none of them do, because cowards, we're going to talk about, they get high on rage and self-delusion. So interacting with them at face value is like trying to interact with a crackhead who's high. Okay, yesterday it was release the files. Today the files don't matter. MAGA hates integrity and honesty, and we're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about why MAGA is literally separated from integrity and honesty. If you have integrity and honesty, you cannot be MAGA. If you have given up integrity and honesty for obedience to MAGA in exchange for the little drugs that they sell, which we're going to talk about, you can heal. You can start valuing truth and the love and liberty that you want for yourself, and you can stop being an addict to this rage cult. They love obedience. The reason that they love obedience is because the reward for their obedience is self-delusion. We're going to talk about that. With MAGA, you're watching a simple loyalty test dressed up as politics. It's not politics. And politics and policy have the same root word, as if there's a substance, an ideological belief that's being debated. That's not what these people are doing. These are crackheads high on rage and self-delusion, and they trade obedience, which they see as free, but it's not free. We're going to talk about obedience actually costs somebody their free will. So by giving your obedience to someone else, you are becoming an NPC. You are saying, my free will, I give it up because I want the self-delusion that you're giving me. We're going to talk about what that is. Today's video is about the addiction to certainty. Who sells it? Who buys it? And how we can all break the spell. MAGA's core product is not any political policy. It is a cheap and easy high that they sell like drug dealers to crack addicts. Rage plus self-delusion that their followers use to stay high without ever facing reality or ever having to earn anything. This is the same cowardice hiding from reality that any hard drug user displays. Drug users are afraid of dealing with reality and their problems, so they use the high to hide. They use the high to hide. If you give obedience to MAGA, they will play along with any self-delusion that you want to claim. You don't have to do any work, you don't have to earn anything, you just have to be obedient to the cult, okay? This is why cowards like this cult because cowards are afraid of earning anything. They're afraid of competing. They're afraid of standing on what they believe. They're afraid of facing another man face to face. So they need a gang that they can be obedient to, that will give them the self-delusion that they don't have to do anything but wear a hat and parrot rage propaganda, and now they belong. Okay, now they're not lonely anymore. Now they get to pretend with another group of pretenders, just like a den of crackheads. Okay. The MAGA cult gives cowards a safe space to play pretend that they are brave and strong. The price that they pay to get into this club where we will pretend you're brave and strong even when you're not is mindless obedience to Donald Trump. If you are mindly obedient to Donald Trump, we will play pretend with you whatever delusion you want to have. The minute you stop being obedient to Donald Trump, we're not going to pretend with you anymore, and we're going to attack you the same way that we attack everybody else in society. Like cowards from the shadows, but as a pack of hyenas. Okay? Hyenas are weak compared to lions, but they're strong as a pack. Okay? Cowards need a pack of other cowards to be strong together with. But they misunderstand what strength is. We're going to talk about that too. Liberals, okay? Liberals keep losing to the minority of the country. MAGA is the minority of the United States. They're like 30%, 33% of our actual population. Look it up for yourselves. That's a whole other topic. Look it up. Ask any AI. Ask it to cite its sources. Actual MAGA voters are about 30% of our society. Liberals keep losing to this minority of the country because we waste precious time and resources arguing with the equivalent of crackheads who are just high out of their minds. While the drug dealers, MAGA serving billionaires, okay, so the billionaires that fund MAGA, those are the drug dealers. While the drug dealers actually run the block. So the drug dealers are manufacturing product for cowards to get high on. That's it. They don't believe what they say. The drug addicts don't believe what they say. The purpose of the manufacturing is to separate these people from good people. Get as many people addicted to society-harming and self-harming rage and self-delusion. Get them hooked on it. We're going to talk about how they do that. Get them hooked on it, and then the people who stand for this, which would never allow billionaires to do what they're doing to our country, will not be strong enough to fight the tiny group of billionaires who are the drug dealers to these drug addicts. Men who are deeply insecure about their status and their own identity. Okay? Men who are deeply insecure about their status and their own identity crave simple answers. They do not want to spend any energy thinking about or debating or standing up for complex topics. Like their beta male by their own cringe definitions, because we know alpha, beta is a fake concept they don't even understand, but by their own definition of beta, their beta male leader, they all crave the mental equivalent of McDonald's in their belief system. Cheap, fast, filling, even though the long-term cost ends up hurting them. And deeply insecure men also crave a daddy figure that they can outsource their courage to. So these men, these addicts, never have to actually display or have any courage. They just get to offsource it to other men, to the pack, to their bitch-made orange-painted leader. When a man is insecure, he will grasp for anyone offering him clarity and enemies and protection. When a man is insecure, he will grasp for anyone or any gang offering clarity, enemies, and protection. That's why 180-degree flip-flops like Epstein still don't break the cult's high. The whole point to a coward who is seeking protection is belonging, not truth. The whole point to a coward who is merely seeking protection is belonging. They want to belong. They don't want to seek truth. So whenever you see these people spewing nonsense, what you have to imagine them saying is, I'm demonstrating how I belong with my drug addict brothers. Not what they're saying. They don't even understand what they're saying. They don't have any policy beliefs. They don't have any core values. They have the core value of obedience gives me belonging that as a coward I crave. Here are some key tells that allow anybody paying attention to clearly see who is who. Real men versus cowards, okay? Anybody can use this to look at an interaction and see who is who. A coward's opinion, cowardly opinions change instantly whenever the leader changes their opinion. A coward's opinion changes the second their leader also changes their opinion, because their signal is loyalty, obedience. Real men maintain their principles like truth, love, and liberty, regardless of what color jersey these principles are wearing. A real man says, these are my principles, and anybody who represents those principles is my team. I don't care what color shirt, what color skin, what country, what belief system. A real man says, these are my principles, I stand on them, and I call brothers and sisters anybody else who stands on them. Jersey colors don't matter. A coward says, I need the protection of a gang, so my opinion means nothing. My opinion is, I must be obedient so that I can stay in my gang of cowards who get high on rage and self-delusion. If I were to stand for something that they disagree with, they'll kick me out of the gang. And then what will I do? Because I'm a coward. A coward's toughness only appears behind keyboards and screens, okay? A coward's toughness only appears behind an avatar that you never get to see who they are, or what they do, or how they speak, or what they know, or how they debate, or how they show up for themselves or their community. A coward's toughness only appears behind a keyboard and a screen. They will never agree to face a real man in any way, not by phone, video chat, or in person. Because a coward can only pretend to be tough when there is no way of proving it. That's their only choice. The only way they get to indulge the self-delusion of toughness when they are the opposite is through an interface that hides them from reality. They get to pretend. And the gang plays along with pretend as long as they're obedient. The gang sees them use the right buzzwords, the right propaganda, the right lingo, and like other hyenas, they're called to their defense. That's how cowards do. That's how MAGA knows their audience. We can attract cowards because this is what they need. This is what they're looking for, and we will give it to them and we will use it. A coward's toughness only appears behind a keyboard and a screen. They will never agree to face a real man in any way, because a coward can only pretend to be tough when they have no way of proving it. This is the high of self-delusion. MAGA allows cowards to get high pretending there's something they aren't. The other addicts go along with the performance. Meanwhile, every single person knows it's fake. The coward who's pretending to be tough, the other cowards who pretend to believe the coward pretending to be tough, and the people they're performing in front of, everybody knows it's fake. But do crack addicts care if you know they're high? No, they don't care. They just want to get high. Cowards just want to be in a gang that protects them, okay? And allows them free drugs, self-delusion. You're strong, you don't have to prove it. You're smart, you don't have to prove it. You're tough, you don't have to prove it. You can hide behind us from real men and we will protect you. The angrier and more rage-filled the propaganda or lies cowards spread, the higher the high that they feel. The angrier and more rage-filled the propaganda or lies that cowards spread, the higher they feel. Okay, good people, when they have to go and do the work of talking to these addicts, Do not feel high. Do not feel superior. Feel sad and like we're cleaning up toxic garbage from people who didn't deserve to have it dumped on them and a society that didn't deserve it, but yet good men are forced to clean it up. Yet when we clean up the problem of addicts, you cannot simply give them more drugs. You cannot simply get high with them. You cannot simply ignore them. You have to communicate to them, you have a problem. You're not actually cowardly and weak and a liar. You have been made to be that because you lacked the proper education to see who you truly are and what you're truly capable of. And when you see what you are and what you're capable of, you will stand for truth because you want truth. You will stand for love because you want love. You will stand for liberty because you want liberty. And nobody will be able to shake you from those things. But men who have never been taught a good example because they have fathers and fathers and fathers who are repeating the cycles of trauma where a bitch-made man makes younger men feel that they are strong and manly without ever having to prove it. And it just conditions them in their mind. So you have a lot of these dudes with daddy issues who are simply afraid to show these traits in front of their dad because the dad or the male influence in their life will call them weak for daring to be strong. Why? Because standing for the truth triggers people who have traded it for self-delusion because they know they did it out of weakness. So when you display what they traded away out of weakness, it triggers them. Just like when you go into a den full of drug addicts and you turn on the light and you say you all have a problem, they're not going to be happy with you, okay? Until these people, when they log off, they hide behind keyboards and screens, and then when they log off the internet, they find they feel even emptier than before. So they go on, they rage anonymously, they feel a little bit high, a little bit powerful, they pretend that they're something they're not, but then they have to get off the internet and they know that they're just emptier than before. And this is why they stay online so much. No one in real life shows them any real love, and that's sad. This makes them feel like they shouldn't show anyone else love. And this is why they don't like themselves, they don't like each other as a gang. Like MAGA don't even enjoy hanging out with MAGA. They're just getting high together. They're just getting angry together. They all know that they're pretending. None of them are happy. That's why when you look at them, you see it. And when you look at the No Kings March, you see celebratory from babies to old people. It's like a picnic cookout vibe with No Kings. People are happy, people are laughing, people are smiling. You look at the stuff from MAGA rallies, and they all look like they're on the verge of a psychotic episode. Okay? Anybody looking honestly sees it. But a lot of people don't want to talk the truth to drug addicts because of the way drug addicts react when they're confronted with the truth. Outrage and self-delusion are the drugs, and the algorithms online run the distribution for billionaires. This is all a finely tuned machine. Highly emotional language spreads the fastest, so clicks and cash reward escalating the rage. The tactic that MAGA leaders use with their followers is called a fire hose of falsehood. Blast people with high volume, speed, and contradiction so that they are overwhelmed and drown in debunking. Just like spewing toxic sludge over an entire population. The fire hose of falsehood. Okay, you can spread 10,000 lies around the world before one truth gets the next door over. This is the McDonald's, the simple, digestible, filling, yet ultimately toxic thing that cowards crave because, you know, in the short term, it's cheap and it fills me up. I don't care that over the long term it's going to hurt me. Just like their orange painted leader who is made out of McDonald's. They want a McDonald's philosophy, as simple, easy, digestible as possible, because we're not looking for truth here. We're looking to just signal obedience to the cult so that they will give us the self-delusion that we need. That's fire hose of falsehood. Then the gish gallop. So we got fire hose of falsehood and we've got gish gallop. The gish gallop buries your enemy in cheap lies that take 10 times longer to refute than to spew like a parrot performing for treats. So a parrot who's trained to repeat, a parrot just says the things that get it treats over and over again. It's like, Polly want a cracker, Polly want a cracker, Polly want a cracker, and the owner keeps giving it treats, and it doesn't know what it's saying. It has no idea what those words mean. That is MAGA performing, and the treat that they get is self-delusion. You get to pretend you're strong when you're not. You get to pretend you're smart when you're not. You get to pretend you're a good person when you're not. You never have to show up to face a real man. Nobody ever measures who you are in any way. You get to hide in the dark. That's how we know who you are, okay? Nobody is fooled. And so the fire hose of falsehood and the gish gallop keep getting brought into the comment sections, and what you guys need to understand is this is my channel. You don't get to spread that bullshit here. If you're not brave enough, if you're not man enough to face a real man, it could be by phone, it could be by video chat, it can be in person. It's up to you. But if you're not brave enough to stand on what you believe, you're not gonna come in and get high in my comment section. I'm gonna give you one chance, and then when you refuse to face me man to man, then I'm just gonna take your comment and I'm gonna make a short video out of it. And so I'm gonna make content responding to these cowards who use self-delusion to pretend they're something they're not. I'm gonna use that to show other young men how to never become that. And then I'm gonna shadow ban these people from the channel, and that means that you'll be able to see your comments, but nobody else will. You'll just be talking to yourself in a black hole, and you'll never know it. And when you figure it out, it's because you can't face me as a man. If you face me as a man, you can say anything that won't get the channel in trouble. You can say whatever you think of me, and you get equal time to me, and I will not interrupt you, because I care about the truth. I care about love and liberty. The fuck would I be scared of you losers for? Okay? So you're not fooling anybody. You can either face us as men and debate your ideas like men, or we're gonna call out the drug addicts for what they are. Because that's the only way to prevent other people from going down this path of rage and misery, because we all see how angry and lonely, and hurt you guys are. Because you're wishing me all of this, and I'm here just trying to get you to represent truth, love, and liberty. I'm here trying to stand up for these ideals, and it makes cowards so mad. And you have to understand why. They've traded what they know they want for themselves. They have gone against that. They know that they're living a lie. They know that they're living as hypocrites. And when you point that out, a person of integrity will say, you know what? You're right. I want to be better. What do I need to do? I don't want to serve self-delusion and rage, and I don't want to ignore truth when they tell me to release the Epstein files one day and that they don't matter the next day. I'm tired of trading obedience and giving away who I am as a person to these type of drug dealers. How do I change? You put truth first, you put love first, you put liberty first. That doesn't mean that we all agree, but it means that we can debate as men and say, hey, we all want these things. Let's start with that as our common ground. With our common ground being, I want truth, you want truth. I want love, you want love. I want liberty, you want liberty. That's common ground we could start from. But when people sling mud at that from the shadows, it's like crackheads coming into a calculus class and just talking. Why should they be allowed to do that? That's crazy. They feel entitled because they're high. They're delusional. And they get angry when you poke their delusion like a little soap bubble, because the delusion is what removes them from the pain of what their real lives actually are. And that is a coward who's afraid to stand for these ideals even though they want them for themselves. Why liberals keep losing. Fighting 10,000 lies one by one. That is the trap that the fire hose of falsehoods is designed to trap us in, liberals. Like, you don't get a pass here for being stupid. Stupid as hell to avoid using other words. These 10,000 lies spread by the equivalent of crackheads, you deal with one by one. As if they care about any of these things. No, it's meant to bog down your enemy so that you can complete covert actions. That's number one, why liberals keep losing. You take these 10,000 lies and you deal with them one by one as if anybody actually means them. The drug dealers manufacturing the lies don't even believe them. They are meant to trigger liberals into engaging with them while they ignore the Epstein files, while they ignore Trump scamming millions out of crypto, while they ignore Saudi Arabians and Qataris gaining a financial interest over the United States. They don't care about any of that because they're spreading the 10,000 lies, and dumb liberals are engaging with each one of them instead of understanding this is a distraction. They don't believe any of this. These points don't matter. What matters is why we have such, and it's not even a large group because all of MAGA is like 33% of the country. So maybe a third of that is these young men who get roped into this rage and self-delusion because they're cowards, because they can't face life with truth and consistency and integrity. And again, because they want love, they want liberty, but they want to deny those things for others. At least they're willing to do that in exchange for somebody telling them they're strong when they're weak, for telling them they're smart when they're ignorant, for telling them that they're a patriot when they're tearing apart democracy. That self-delusion, you don't have to do anything. You just have to put on the hat and we pretend that you're somebody. That is like a third of the 33%. So decent society has to battle for these lost boys. They are children of broken men, okay? So when broken men have children, they raise them also to be broken, or they don't raise them at all, which creates broken men. It is not hard to see how this happens. But we have to take responsibility as real men of society who care about everyone. Because we know it's in the best interest of all of us to take care of our entire human family, to be consistent in our beliefs. I want truth, I want you to have truth. I want love, I want you to have love. I want liberty, I want you to have liberty. Real men know that that is important, so even if these aren't our kids, even if we are not the ones grifting them and getting them high on rage and self-delusion to control them like cowards, okay? Even if we have nothing to do with this, we have an obligation to help do something about it, because these are ultimately our brothers of our human family. And when we show them this brokenness that led you to this drug addiction is only going, every time you get offline and you realize that you're just lonely and none of these people care about you, not even these people's family members like hanging out together. They just get angry together and they just hate people together, and they need liberals or they need apolitical people as friends to hang out with because they don't even like themselves. That's why they need our attention. That's why they'll come on this channel and seek a real man's attention like a baby crying out for a daddy. Okay? And if we don't point that out and call it what it is, we're not going to heal this in our society. So liberals keep losing because they fight the 10,000 lies at face value. They keep losing, number two, because they treat the cowards cheerleading, because they're cheerleading when they spread these lies. When they switch from release the Epstein files to we don't care about the Epstein files, they're being cheerleaders. When we treat that cheerleading as if it's sincere beliefs, Liberals are wasting their own time arguing against sick symbols instead of going after the root cause, which is a cowardly obedience exchanged for self-delusion. So we fight the 10,000 lies one by one, that's why liberals lose, and then pretending that they mean what they say, when all they're doing is cheerleading. They're cheerleaders reciting the cheer that they were taught. They don't know what it means. They don't care. They just want to be a cheerleader. They just want to be part of the team. Number 3, liberals try to bring facts without targeting the root of the addiction. Okay, so you're confronting this cheerleading and these 10,000 lies by giving facts to them. But those facts merely bounce off a psychologically indoctrinated armor that protects the MAGA tribe from anything infiltrating their ideology. Until they admit that they have given away their free will and integrity in exchange for self-delusion, nothing else matters. Okay? So you should not deal with the 10,000 lies one by one. You should not treat cheerleaders as if they're debaters. And you have to understand that giving facts to a cheerleader who's like, I'm cheerleading, what are you talking to me about proper grammar for? I don't even understand you. That is trying to bring facts to people who are just getting high. This is why liberals lose to a minority of our country who's literally basically selling crack to our most broken individuals. If the people in the country who actually believe in standing up for truth, who actually believe in standing up for love, who actually believe in standing up for liberty, if those people actually came together on that common ground, these people would not be a problem. But these people are divided because they all have different ideas of how to deal with the fire hose of falsehoods, the Gish Gallop. They all treat these people like they actually believe what they say when they're just cheerleaders. They're drug addicts. They're cheerleaders. They're hyenas who need a gang to protect them. They're just doing whatever the gang leaders tell them to do in exchange for the self-delusion. When we talk to these people, we cannot be chasing the 10,000 talking points of bullshit that they don't even understand, let alone believe. Okay, so when they come in our comments with 30 lies in one comment, do not chase each lie. They don't believe what they're saying. They are spraying a fire hose of shit onto your page, displaying obedience and loyalty to their team. They're cheerleading. They are not debating. So if that happens to you, when that happens, and you want to respond or you want to deal with this person, because they're not unreachable, but you have to deal with what the actual problem is, obedience and addiction to self-delusion and rage. You have to deal with why they're hooked on rage and self-delusion and obedience, not any of the talking points they don't even understand. And they can be reached that way. Okay? Because ultimately, they know deep down that they have turned their back on what they believe in, which is truth, love, and liberty. They know that they're afraid to represent those beliefs in their community because their community will attack them. And that is the clearest sign you can possibly see that everything I'm saying is true. If you try to represent these ideals inside this cult, they will attack you. So when you deal with these people, do not listen to the cheers coming from the cheerleaders or the actual sentences the crackhead is saying. Understand that the crackhead is high if you want to deal with them. And in comments, that's naming the tactic that they're using, saying, hey, this is a fire hose. This is what a Gish Gallop looks like. Hey everybody, look, he came in here with the fire hose of falsehoods. Hey everybody, look, he came in here with the Gish Gallop. Hey everybody, look, he came in here simping for MAGA, spreading 10,000 lies because he's afraid to stand up for truth. Don't deal with the 10,000 lies point by point. They don't even believe them. If you want to answer cheerleaders, crackheads, spreading propaganda, again, you don't engage with the 10,000 lies because they don't care. Nobody believes them. Their followers don't believe them. The people reading it, nobody believes them. They're performing a cheer for their team. If you have impressionable young people looking in a way that you want to respond, or you think there might be a way to have a conversation with someone, then just answer them with the simple truth, a one-sentence version of what the truth is in this situation. Mention the lies, not one by one, but mention this is the truth, this is why, here are the lies and why people lie about it, and then end with, because we all know that this is what's true, which is these people don't believe what they're saying, they're just getting high on rage and self-delusion because they have daddy issues. Okay, we can just move on to, okay, what do we do about it? We know this is true, we know these are the lies they tell about it, but because this is true, what are we going to do about it? Because it's true that these people don't care what they say, they care about loyalty performances, obedience demonstration, showing their leaders how they will get down on their knees and grovel and change any opinion tomorrow that they are told. Because that's all they're doing, what we have to do is respond to that, not what the crackhead is actually saying in the moment. We have to talk about, to our young people, about whataboutism, okay? We have to talk to them about sea lioning. Sea lioning is trolling. Sea lioning is like popping your head up in the comments and you're just think about a shark looking for different sea lions and they're popping up and he can't tell, is this the same one? How many are there? What are they doing? They're hiding. They're taunting. That's trolling. Sea lioning is like, this person has no intent. All they're doing is they're high and they're cheerleading and they need somebody to pay attention to them. That's sea lioning. So you gotta name the tactics that you see from crackheads so that kids see crackhead behavior and they're like, oh yeah, whataboutism. They're not actually engaging with a point. They're just saying, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? That is how a coward backs away without ever having to engage. What about this? What about that? Sea lioning. I just need attention. I'm not trying to debate. I'm not trying to learn anything. I'm an addict who enjoys getting high off rage and self-delusion, and it would be entertaining for me to get some attention from you right now. That's sea lioning. Loyalty tests. They come in repeating whatever Donald Trump has said today, even if it was the opposite of what they said yesterday. So the Epstein files don't matter. We're still talking about the Epstein files. That's a loyalty test. Look, I could be on the same screen name that said 2 days ago, release the Epstein files, but because Trump said today, why are we still talking about Epstein? I say that today and I have no shame, and that shows how I'm obedient to you. Kash Patel, right? Dan Bongino, right? The most pro, we're gonna get in there, release the Epstein files. They get in there, become little bitch ass zombie, yes sir, toadstools, to the weakest man, one of the weakest, softest, McDonald's made, pussy neck having losers on planet Earth, Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, switch around, and that is a loyalty test. Cherry picking, okay? They come in your comments and they're like, yeah, I don't care that MAGA is the most destructive force United States society has ever seen. What about abortion though? Okay, that is cherry picking. That's saying that even though it's an overwhelming sludge fest of filth in MAGA, this one little issue that I'm cherry picking over on the left, that's why I vote. I don't really believe in all this filth and disgust and harm that they're doing to society, but I'm gonna pick this one issue and make that my ride or die. That's cherry picking. So we have to teach kids and our community about the fire hose of falsehoods, how they just spread lies like cheerleaders, not because they believe it, like crackheads, not because they believe what they're saying, but simply because they're told to. And if they do what they're told, they get the self-delusion of pretending that they are what they are not. Even though nobody is fooled, they're not fooled. They know that they're still a coward. They know that they're still weak. They know that they still live in irrational fear. They know that they're still lazy. They know that they're still ignorant. But they get to pretend, man, when they put on that hat and other people pretend with them. And they all know they're pretending, but they don't care because it feels good. It feels good for a weak man to feel strong for a little bit. But then they get offline and reality comes crashing down, and that's like the heroin addict coming down from the high, and that come down feels terrible. When they're getting high online, pretending that they're strong, pretending they're manly, pretending they're tough, pretending they're smart, and they log off and they're in the real world where nobody loves them, nobody romances them, nobody gives them any status, man, that come down is a motherfucker. So what do? They go back into the cycle and they stay there, okay? Like a crackhead. And it is hard to help crackheads. You can't get high with them to help them. You can't just simply hang out with them. You cannot simply ignore them. You have to go for the root cause. Why is this person seeking a fake version of life? Why is this person getting high off rage instead of love? Okay, so this was talking about, again, you don't take what they say seriously because they don't take what they say. These are parrots repeating phrases for a treat. These are cheerleaders reciting cheers to show they're part of the team. They don't believe what they're actually saying. And so we show that these cheers are what about. We've got whataboutism. You say something, they say, what about this? What about that? What about this? They will never engage and stay with an issue because they don't even know what they believe. They don't know how to articulate their beliefs because their only belief is, I'm really just trying to show Trump that I'm loyal. I don't really know how to debate abortion or LGBTQ anything. I don't know anything about economics. I don't know anything about tariffs. I don't know anything about constitutional law, but I do know that if I'm loyal to this cult, they'll tell me I'm smart. They'll tell me they're my friends. They'll tell me that I matter. They'll tell me that I'm strong. That's what they're communicating to you. So when you see the whataboutism, you're like, this is a tactic you're taught to use to stay away from the issue because you don't really care about the issue. You don't really know about the issue. So we've got whataboutism. We've got the sea lioning, which is you're just in my comments thinking that if you can upset a real man, that will give you a little bit of a high. That if you can get attention from a real man today by, keyboard wizardry, by being a tough keyboard typer, if you can get attention from a man where in your life no men pay attention to you, that's sea lioning. So we got whataboutism, we got sea lioning, we've got the loyalty tests, like Kash Patel. I'm gonna show you all the Epstein files, I'm gonna do everything. And then the cult is like, hey, we'll make you head of the FBI, but you're gonna be our little bitch and you're gonna do what we tell you to. Yes, sir, I didn't really mean anything like I said, sir. I'll do whatever you ask me to. I really just want this power. I really just want you to accept me. I'm a coward. I don't really believe. I wasn't saying any of that. I was saying that online because it got me clicks and followers because that was the thing that the cult was saying that day. But since today the cult is saying Epstein who, yes, sir, I get on my knees, sir. Whatever you say, sir. That's loyalty tests. And then the cherry picking. I know, MAGA is terrible, they're evil, Donald Trump is a piece of shit, but man, liberals are for abortion. I just can't do that. That's cherry picking. I'll ignore a sea of evil for this one issue, and again, it's not even true. They don't understand the issue, they can't debate it. They don't say, this is my issue, now let's talk about it man to man. They say, I don't want to talk about it. That's just a bridge too far for me. I'm going to go and hide again now. But I cherry picked a thing. I put that out and said, this is why I support this toxic filth. And now I don't need to talk to you anymore. Okay, that's cherry picking. So we don't engage with the substance of the 10,000 lies. We engage with the root cause of why they want to give up their agency and free will for self-delusion. We deal with the tactics that they use to bog their enemies down, not the actual words that they're saying that they don't even understand. And all you have to do is say, let's debate that. Let's debate abortion. You want to debate abortion? Come on the show. You get equal time to me, completely equal. I will never interrupt you. And you can say anything you want that doesn't get us in trouble with YouTube. And let's debate abortion. And when we're done, let's look each other in the eye and virtually shake hands, or we could be in person and actually shake hands and say, okay, I've said everything about why I believe that women should have the right to have abortions, and you've said everything you believe. Let's just put that out there. Because that's the truth. What do you really believe? That's the truth. And if you really believed it, you wouldn't be afraid to stand on it. The reason that they will not debate is because they don't even believe 90% of what they say. Very, very, very few Republicans who tell you that abortion is important to them actually care enough to debate it. And that's how you know it's not true. Because that is a minor issue for me. But yet, why would I hesitate? I will debate it any time because it's good for the community to hear out the arguments. But you want to call names. You don't want to have an argument because you're seeking attention and loyalty testing. And we're just going to call it what it is. And we're going to teach a new generation how not to be addicts by pointing out how weak the crackheads are, how miserable the crackheads are, how much they shoot themselves in the foot of what they're trying to achieve in their own life by getting high all the time. Because we have to deal with these people the way we deal with crackheads. We can't ignore them. We can't get high with them. We can't simply invite them into our spaces while they're high on crack. We have to go after the root problem and offer them a bridge, but they have to take it. They have to say, you know what? I will meet you on the common ground of truth, love, and liberty. Why? Because I want those things for myself. Because you all do. We all do. We all want those things. Why cannot we not meet there on common ground? Liberals, any liberal watching this will be like, of course I'll meet you there. But I'm going to disagree with you on a bunch of other shit. And I'm going to say, okay, that's fine. We can meet here and still disagree about the first, second, all the amendments. We can still disagree on economics. But we will never agree on a president who lies nonstop, who tries to take liberty away from other people. When, what did Donald Trump earn? What did he do to earn being a United States citizen? Nothing, right? He did nothing. He did nothing to earn being a United States citizen, just like the MAGA people who want to make the rules harder for other people than they were for themselves. That's not common ground. That's a lie. As soon as you say you want liberty but you want to deny it to somebody else, you're a liar and you've now separated yourself. We are not separating you. We're going to disagree about stuff up here, but if we come back to the truth, if we come back to that we all want love and liberty, then there is no rage, okay? Then there is no self-delusion. Then there is no pretending. And because we have the rage and self-delusion and pretending, that's why we can't get anything done. When humanity has the potential, I'm hesitating to say this because like MAGA people will not even understand what I'm about to say right now. But it's true, and liberals will understand what I'm about to say. We have the potential today to feed every person on planet Earth healthy food that keeps them in the peak of physical health, that tastes good, that's grown in an integrity-filled way for free. and it would cost almost nothing compared to what we give billionaires. And we have the capability as humans today to have nano robots, microscopic robots, swimming through our bloodstreams, cleaning out disease for every human being. We have that technology. But I can't talk about it because MAGA can't get past their rage and self-delusion. We can't deal with actual things that would improve all of humanity, every single person's life. You don't want free healthy beef, free healthy chicken, free healthy produce, because it would be easy for us as a country to grow that for everyone who lives here. It would be simple. Not some gross, government cheese, Frankentype. No, I'm talking where it is transparent through things like the blockchain, which some of you guys understand only as a form of money. But the blockchain can also show you things like what a crop was fed throughout its entire life. Okay, we have the ability to have city agricultural skyscrapers that are open terrace, aquaponics or hydroponic designs that grow every kind of produce for the entire city for free, and it would cost almost nothing, and anybody could go in and see what kind of pesticides we're using, what kind of nutrients are we using. Everybody gets to know this is the healthiest corn you could eat. These are the healthiest potatoes you can eat. These are the healthiest tomatoes you can eat. This is the healthiest beef you can eat. That's where we could be, but because of these addicts, we have to confront the fire hose of filth. Okay, and that's why it matters. That's why, even though we're not spreading it, even though it doesn't affect us, even though they can't touch us, even though they can't face us, they're still preventing us as a society from accomplishing anything close to what we're capable of. We are, because of this rage and self-delusion, we are living at the lowest level of humanity. Not even a mid-level, let alone above average, or let alone living at our potential. And that's why it matters. Okay? That's why we're here. That's why we're showing up every day. And we're going to break down who these people are to help the ones who have the integrity left inside them to say, you know what? I'm tired of getting high on rage. I'm tired of getting high on self-delusion. You show me, you say that there's a better way, love and liberty, show me. I got you for free. We will never have sponsors on this channel, ever. We will never sell you anything on this channel, ever. I will help anybody out there for free. I will give you my time and my energy to help you succeed where you've been a failure, to help you find love where you've been unloved, to help you get strong where you've been weak. I'm here to help, and I'm here to help young men who are on the fence because they're raised in these families, and man, they see through your bullshit. But some of y'all control your kids with money, you control them with church, with religion, you control them with peer pressure because you don't introduce them to anyone outside your cult. So if they were to ever start standing up for these values, everyone you've raised them around will turn on them. They understand it inside, even though they can't articulate it. And when real men start offering them a lifeline out of the bullshit, some of them are going to take it. I've already had people take it. I've already had people take off the MAGA hat. And when I started, talking about politics, it was like, if I can help one person not go down fucking up their lives with this bullshit drug, it will be worth it. And I've already helped more than 2 handfuls of people take off the red hat. So if you want to come in the comments and talk about this is a waste of time, you're not going to change anybody, bitch, I already have. This is a tiny little channel on YouTube, okay? But if it reaches 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 people who are like, you know what? Fuck this rage and self-delusion. I don't agree with you, love and liberty, on some economic things, on some tax things, whatever. But I do agree with you on truth and love and liberty. And for those reasons, I could never be MAGA. Cool. We're brothers. If we can agree on this common ground, that's all I'm asking for. And if you stand for truth, you will not be afraid to debate. You will not be afraid to stand on your beliefs in public when your highest belief is truth. You know why? Why would I ever be afraid to debate a MAGA person? Because I care what's truth, so if you prove me wrong, I say thank you. You prove what I believe wrong, I say thank you. I wanted the truth. I was believing a lie and you helped me see that. Thank you. I'm not embarrassed. The fuck would I be embarrassed putting truth first? The truth is, we're not born knowing everything. The truth is, we're taught a lot of lies growing up. The truth is, we have an ego that holds on to stuff we're taught for no reason. For no reason. The truth is, letting go of lies and falsehoods you believe gives you a better life, layer by layer by layer. It happens in layers. It happens over the years. So even now at this age where I have had so many lies I was brought up with, cracked open and found the truth, I know that I'm still holding on to lies. And so if you debate me and you prove me wrong, I celebrate that. I look you in the eye and say, thank you for helping me find the truth. That's how you know these people are cowards. They won't even debate anything because they're so far from truth. They're so wrapped up in their ego, and they know that they're going to embarrass themselves, and they can't stand it because that's what they're getting high against. Don't you see? The whole reason they do this is to not face that they haven't studied, that they don't know what they're talking about, that they don't have confidence, they don't have love, they don't have truth. So they are so afraid because they have such a low opinion of themselves, they don't want anybody else to see what they see in the mirror. They do not want anybody else to see what they see in the mirror, and that is why they hide. And I'm trying to help them. If you really believed any of this bullshit, you would stand on it and you would debate me tonight or tomorrow. If you believed any of this bullshit, because you know what? You can tell me I only want to debate abortion. I don't want to talk to you about Trump stealing crypto money. I don't want to talk to you about Trump protecting PDFs. I just want to debate you on abortion. Cool. The fuck would I hide from you about that from? If I have anything wrong, I would like to know. I am not going to stop you from saying anything in your time. We would get equal time. We both get to talk. Nobody interrupts. We virtually shake hands after and say, let's debate something else sometimes, and then let the viewers hear what's true for you and what's true for me. But these people can't show up because they don't have anything to stand on but rage, and they see that in the mirror. When they look in the mirror and they're like, I'm just a rage addict. I just pretend I'm something I'm not on the internet all day. And I know that every time I look in the mirror. But you know what? I don't know what to do about it. And right now I'm feeling terrible, so let me just go online and get high again, pretending I'm something I'm not. They will never show up for a debate because they do not want anybody to see what they see. And they know that a real man is going to shine a light on them and be like, what are you? Who are you? Why do you believe what you believe? How much time have you spent thinking about what you believe? How much of what you believe aligns with these kind of principles that you automatically know if you start based on these principles, you're going to appeal to the most people because every human being on earth wants truth. Every human being on earth wants love. A lot of these little cowards come in the comments making fun of love. Can you imagine how weak and broken you have to be to attack the idea of standing up for love? Because we know that they want love. They want love, yet they're attacking people who are trying to expand love. You have to be high off your ass. Okay? You have to be so fucking high when you want love and you're online attacking people trying to expand love while hiding from them. So we see you even when you're hiding. You don't want us to see you the way that you see yourselves, but we see you hiding. That's the truth. Okay? If I didn't love you, I wouldn't tell you the truth. Today was a lot, and so I actually have a lot to do today, so I'm going to do my workout later, not even right now, like later tonight. But I still wanted to show up today because I still wanted to talk about this, and it's important. And we're showing up every day, and we're showing that sometimes, what is this, episode 17? 16 out of 17 we've gotten in our workout, along with what I would call my presentation, my argument, my appeal to debate. So this is the only time we're not going to go ahead and get the work in as well. But tomorrow we will. No, tomorrow's Saturday. So Monday through Friday. Monday we'll be back. We're still going to get in our workout later today. We're still going to get it in this weekend. And we'll see what we talk about Monday. But this is important because this is a minority ruling over the majority. This is a minority of the United States who has taken covert actions through bogging down their enemies with bullshit, and we've been dumb enough to fall for it. And so the minority has achieved power over the majority, but a huge contingent for this minority is the rage-addicted and self-delusion-addicted incels and cowards that make up somewhere around a third of MAGA. And unlike them, we don't want to hate, we don't hate them, we don't want to kick them out, we don't want to take away their liberty, we want to love them. But how do you love a crackhead? You don't let them in your house while they're high on crack. You show up for them. You show up for them every day. You're like, yo man, I'll be here every day. You finally get miserable of living this way? Let me show you for free as a brother. Let me give you time for free as a brother, and I will help you out of this misery. We show up for them. We tell them the truth. We point them towards the light that they want for themselves, but they're denying, and we just keep showing up. All right, I'll see you guys next time. This is Love and Liberty, and that's all we got for today. Much love and liberty, no matter what color jersey you wear, no matter who you are. Just because you have love for a human body doesn't mean you don't remove the cancer cells from it. If you're a gardener and you have love for your garden, you remove the weeds from your potatoes and tomatoes that are going to try to kill them. Love is not soft. Love is not permissive. Love does not lie to make you feel good. Love shows up, looks you in the eye, and tells you the truth. Shows up, looks you in the eye, tells you the truth, and offers you everything that it can to not compromise love and truth. And that's all we're here to do. All right, we'll see y'all next time.